It's Tuesday, May 5th, AD 2026. This is the Worldview in 5 minutes, written by Kevin Swanson and Timothy Reed, and heard on 140 radio stations and at theworldview.com. I'm Adam McManus. On April 25th, International Christian Concern reports that Muslim Somali herders killed 7 Christian farmers in Kitui County, Kenya, in a raid. The raiders left behind burned homes, scattered belongings, and families struggling to come to terms with the loss. Local church leaders said many of the affected families are now dealing with loss on multiple levels, including loved ones, homes, and livelihoods. Remember Jesus' words in Revelation 2:10. He said, "Be faithful unto death, and I will give you the crown of life." The cost of war in Iran continues to rise. The Trump administration announced that the war has cost $25 billion, but that doesn't include the cost to rebuild destroyed military bases in the Middle East. The Iran War Cost Tracker has the cost of the war pegged at more than $70 billion. That's more than $1 billion per day. The Trump administration is working to reform Social Security by removing illegal aliens off the rolls. Listen to President Trump's latest comments on his protection of Social Security.
Together with the Republicans in Congress, we've removed nearly 300,000 illegal aliens from the Social Security roll. And we've removed more than 100,000 migrants from Medicare eligibility, 100,000, and the number's going up. What we're really doing is saving Social Security because it was so rife with fraud.
In a blockbuster decision, the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 against apportioning congressional districts by race, effectively neutering a portion of the Federal Voting Rights Act of 1965. Following the decision, a flurry of Republican states, including Louisiana, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida, began working towards redistricting in favor of Republicans. However, Democrats are planning their own redistricting efforts, as both parties remain deadlocked in midterm election jockeying. In other Supreme Court headlines, it issued an administrative stay on Monday of a lower court ruling which would have put a stop to the mail order program for the abortion kill pill. The administrative order will hold for a week, while the court gives the Food and Drug Administration opportunity to respond. Public school enrollment is down in the United States, a 900,000-person drop over the last decade. During the same period, Edunomics Lab reports that staffing has actually increased by about the same amount, 700,000 people, or about 12%, ironically. The government school monopoly spends $1 trillion per year on their program, averaging $17,000 per student. Per-student costs adjusted for inflation have doubled since 1980. Contrast that with homeschooling. The Homeschool Legal Defense Association surveyed 4,000 homeschool families and found the per-child costs for homeschooling an elementary school student was about $1,300 and $1,600 for middle and high school students. That means a family with 5 children saves the state $85,000 per year in education costs and then spends $7,000 of their own money doing it. There's somewhat of a property tax revolt going on across the country. Florida lawmakers are proposing an end to local government property taxes. And Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott has suggested something similar. And the states of Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, South Dakota, and Wyoming have other initiatives in process to reform their property tax in favor of the taxpayers. 1 Samuel 8 speaks of this tyranny. Samuel said, "This will be the behavior of the kings who will reign over you. He will take your sons. He will take your daughters. He will take 1/10 of your grain and your vintage. And you will cry out in that day because of your king whom you have chosen for yourselves. And the Lord will not hear you in that day." U.S. gas prices have almost doubled since late February. Now the average price sits at $4.46 per gallon, up from $2.84 a gallon just 2 months ago. The state of Idaho passed a bill that requires teachers and doctors to tell parents if their child is experiencing gender dysphoria. The law, signed by Republican Governor Brad Little, seeks to combat ways in which a child may secretly appear to be the other sex without parental approval. Republican State Senator Ben Toews stated, quote, "A loophole was left in the previous law, and it did not mention social transitions, the process by which vulnerable children are led into the pipeline," end quote. Violations of the new law could lead to steep fines and potential loss of professional licenses. Greta Gerwig is directing the next Narnia film, The Magician's Nephew, to be produced by Netflix, which is expected to be released on February 12, 2027. Gerwig is best known for her director role in the feminist film Barbie. The first 3 Narnia movies yielded a worldwide box office total of $1.8 billion. There's a $90 million taxpayer-funded water park in Grand Prairie, Texas, called Epic Waters, which is now celebrating the Islamic holiday of Eid al-Adha, the Feast of Sacrifice, and the second of 2 main festivals in Islam. It honors the willingness of Abraham to sacrifice his son as an act of obedience to God's command. The Epic Waters Park will be restricting the park to Muslims, allowing only halal food to be sold, and requiring head-to-toe Muslim dress for all swimmers. And finally, Ava Edel, a 90-year-old woman who was placed in a Soviet death camp at a young age, is urging the U.S. Congress to repeal the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act, or FACE Act, after she was convicted and put in prison under the Biden administration. Pro-abortion advocates have used the FACE Act to jail and silence pro-lifers. Listen to her recent testimony.
Pro-lifers who continue to put their bodies between the abortionists and innocent victims today will continue to be targeted by this unjust law until it is repealed. And yet, despite knowing this, when the Lord asks you to do something, you just simply do it, no matter the cost. After all, He gave His life to save us.
John 15, verse 13 reminds us, "Greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for his friends." And that's the Worldview on this Tuesday, May 5th, in the year of our Lord, 2026. Follow us on X or subscribe for free by Spotify, Amazon Music, or by iTunes or email to our unique Christian newscast at theworldview.com. Plus, you can get the Generations app through Google Play or the App Store. I'm Adam McManus. Seize the day for Jesus Christ.
This has been a production of the Generations Media Network. For more information, go to generations.org/media.
Thanks for listening to The Worldview in 5 minutes. If you want to go deeper than the headlines and build a biblical worldview in your home, Generations has resources to help you anchor your family in truth. Books, curriculum, and tools for every stage of life. And right now, listeners get 15% off any order with the code WV5. Just use WV and the number 5 at checkout at generations.org. Thanks for staying grounded in God's Word with us every day.